Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for your time always for joining us on the program. My name is Oana.
My name is Naomi Young. Very good morning, Akwa Ibom. Good morning, Nigeria. Well, this morning we'll be playing host to the Director, Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, CRAN. Otoekon Franklin Isang joins us, and we'll be looking at cutting costs in governance. Especially our focus will be in Akwa Ibom State. With all that is happening, some are questioning, would we see all of the things that we always see in governance? Is it going to be the same? Would there be reduction? Would there be an increase? In what sector? All of that discussions we'll get to cover this morning.
All right. 2 months ago, Akwa Ibom State government, Mr. Mono, made a pivotal commitment to fiscal discipline when it said it will cut the cost of governance and reduce recurrent expenditure. And the statement will become a basis for accountability demand, especially from this Umo Eno-led government. So let's welcome our guest, Franklin Song, who joins us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Owana. Good morning, Naomi. Good to be with you this morning.
Very good morning. First, let's start with the last time we had you here was the palliative discussion to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal. A lot has been done, maybe not to you, but some things has been done. How would you rate what has been done and how people are faring right now?
I want to believe that the palliative committee we submitted our report to the governor, and the governor, applauded it, commenced implementation of the report. The government flagged off the rice distribution at the village of the governor. I was there with the chairman of the NLC, and then afterwards the distribution of the rice, 40 bags per village, went around the entire villages we have in Akwa Ibom State. Beyond the rice distribution, we had recommended that we should have salary cash award to civil servants. We had proposed 10,000 naira to be given to them at that time. But when I think the NLC chairman reached out to me recently and said that the national leadership of NLC had requested that every state should comply with the federal government standard, which is 12,000 naira per worker to be given as cash award. And then I have not heard much about that, because the NLC chairman told me that he had sent letters to the governor informing him that this is the position of the national leadership of the NLC. We are here to hear from the government if that has been implemented. In the committee, we also recommended that there should be CNG-powered buses to convey workers to work at strategic locations. I am yet to see the CNG buses in the state. We also talked about bursary. I think the government talked about. I have heard the government about giving bursary to students. We also recommended that there should be soft loan to farmers. I am yet to be informed about that aspect of the recommendation. We also recommended that we should have fuel depot. We don't have a depot in Akwa Ibom. We used to go. Our marketers used to go to Calabar or to River State to get fuel. We don't have a fuel depot. Akwa Ibom State is one of the crude oil producing states. We should have a fuel depot owned by the government. The one we have in Mbo is a private owned. I think Mbo Oron is a privately owned, not owned by the government. We need the government to build fuel depot so that we can get this fuel within Akwa Ibom, and it will reduce the cost of it. Now, we also recommended that we should have gas stations that are that supply CNG gases. Okay. So you don't need, now what is CNG? Compressed natural gas, so that you don't need to be going for fuel. If you can convert your vehicle to use CNG gases, that will be better for you. You can go and convert it within the state. But I think we have it in Lagos now. Lagos government came up with that, and it is. I think I've heard the governor talked about it the governor of Lagos State talked about trying to convert some vehicles to become CNG powered vehicles. We also talked about owning refinery. We recommended that the government should try. In the days of Obam Victor Attah's administration, Attah had proposed and had commenced the process to build refinery in the state, though it was under PPP. public-private partnership, and it was the Amakpe refinery somewhere along Eket, and that project never saw the light of the day. So we in the committee recommend that if we can have the refinery in Akwa Ibom State that can also refine, it will also help us to ameliorate the suffering we are going through. We did a whole lot of recommendations, and which we had thought that if the government, buy into it and commence full implementation, it would have helped the state. So far, so good. It is only rice that I know had been distributed across the state, and this is not what I want to speak on air, because I'm not really happy that the entire effort of the committee was to go and share rice.
Well, there's also the issue of the salary award. We know the federal government proposed 35,000 naira, but right here in the state, do you think it should match that of the federal government, or perhaps maybe 30 or 25,000 naira?
You see, comparatively, if you look at the economy today, you will agree with me that the workers in Lagos, workers in Abuja, workers in elsewhere suffer the same thing across board. The harsh economy cut across every strata of the family, no level that is spared. So I have over time advocated, and I want to continue to advocate that what is given to our public servant in Nigeria is not commensurate with what is applicable, what is the currency today. They need a living wage, not minimum wage. Today, if you go to the market today, you will know that the cost of commodity, cost of food prices have skyrocketed to very high. Last Christmas was postponed because people didn't have money to buy food items in the market. This one may most likely be postponed because of high cost of living. Today, people are feeding from garbage. I drive around the state. I can tell you that if you go, you will see young men, women are moving to the garbage to pick food, to pick items that are left over there to go and feed. And you see children who are like homeless, but they're actually not homeless. They go around there in disguise of being homeless, pick those items, go to their homes, and give to their parents to support what the parents can afford. That's the truth about what you're having today in Akwa Ibom and in Nigeria. And let me also add this. I did investigation, and I can tell you for fact that even the restaurant today, they sell recycled food. Those of us who eat and leftover gari, leftover fufu, leftover soup, when you leave it and you go, they will pick it, the owner will pick it and go and recycle it to the next man who comes to buy. That's what you eat. But you will know that you won't know until when you go behind the kitchen to know what they are doing there. You'll be shocked that what you eat is leftover food that somebody has eaten and left over because of the cost of living today in Nigeria. We are suffering too much, and I can tell you that today our lifespan is shortened because of these experiences that I've just mentioned. You eat, you go home, you fall sick. You don't know what has caused it. Is this the food that you'll be eating before today? So what I'm simply saying, the Christmas that is coming in a few months' time, they call it in a month time, may most likely be postponed because we don't even have what to eat today. Talk much of Christmas. So I want to appeal. I am telling you that. I'm telling you.
Celebration.
I am telling you the 25th Christmas, 25th on the celebration that we used to have on the 25th to mark the birth of Christ, most likely will postpone because last year's one was postponed because of harsh and high cost of living. The celebration that I was born to meet my parents on a Christmas day, we will be eating rice, eating all manner of food, go around. Today, last Christmas, I tell you, we do not have any celebration in my family. And this one, most Christians may most likely not even have what to eat. So what do you now use to celebrate? What do you now celebrate? So I want to plead with the government of Akwa Ibom, with the government of Nigeria, to ensure that we have enough food to eat.
All right. Well, based on what you've said, it's obvious that these are sad realities. These are things we're experiencing, and there's little or nothing as Nigerians we can do about it. So back to the question of reducing the cost of governance. So far, since this new administration kick-started, how would you rate or how would you evaluate Pastor Umo Eno's led administration in terms of reducing cost of governance? Let's not forget that just about a few weeks ago, we saw him appointing over 50 media aides. Let's talk about that.
Maybe I will be disappointing my listeners today because I will be giving you the reality on ground. The government is yet to take off. That's the truth about it. The government is yet to hit the ground running 6 months into office. And that is the reality on ground. Anybody that comes here to tell you that the government has done this, has done that, tell the person that Franklin in his song says that the government of Pastor Umo Eno is yet to take off.
We would like you to explain the takeoff, because yes, from the federal level, you hear, what was the word the president used? On day one, we'll hit the ground running, yes. That was the word he used, and one of it was the removal of the fuel subsidy. So let's understate what exactly would have been done.
Pastor Eno did mention that he was going to hit the ground running.
Thank God you said he mentioned. You see, you must call a spade a spade. There's come a time we will give a name to what it is. And what it is today in Akwa Ibom is that the government of Pastor Umo Eno is yet to hit the ground running. They are still on the drawing board, they are still on the blueprint, they are still on words and rhetorics that we are going to do, our RISE agenda. We launched it. I was there. I was invited. My clan, we went there. We appraised it. We applauded the effort of the government. If you were at the conference that we had, the CSO's conference that we had, the first ever in Akwa Ibom State, we advised the governor to streamline his project because we have seen that the government is here to take off. He's still struggling with so many things in his hands. The only thing I can say that the governor has done is to be present in every social event. And this is not what I expect of the government. The government needs to sit down and wear the thinking cap and address issues of development. The government within 100 days went and commissioned roads within Akwa Ibom market. Go there, you will see potholes. I counted 30 potholes just 2 days ago. That was commissioned. The road that was commissioned. That's the truth about it. Why do you do that?
Do we blame the governor?
That's the point about it. But it was commissioned. When it was commissioned, government has put a seal that this is now taken by the government. That's the truth about it. Now I have engaged. Let me explain.
Of that road that isn't completed. True.
I've just told you, for a project to be commissioned, it implies that that project has been completed and is now due to be taken over by the government. And government now go and commission and put a seal to it that this is now government have done it and it has now been taken by the government. I have several times engaged with HENSEC handling the airport road. That road was almost abandoned. They tried to expand the road in Udom's administration. Italian came on board and condemned and said, don't expand. What you should rather do is to use the money and go and work on the Calabar to highway. And Italian was lampooned. Today, I want to say that that project has been almost abandoned. I severally engaged HENSEC engineering. I said, why do you have like a bubble trap along the way? You will see that there's some part that are just left in the middle of the way. They put a culvert and then abandoned it. It has caused several accidents on the highway leading to airport. It was after several interventions. Recently, I now saw HENSEC begin to go and begin to work on one side. They've been there for the past 2 weeks. What is happening? And those who are holding contract have downsized. They have downsized their workers because of lack of funding to projects. So where is the government, of the state? But in every function, 6 months down the line, the governor will be there speaking, talking tough. The governor during the flag off or launching of the RISE agenda had warned that he doesn't want to see chain of convoys when he's coming down from Abuja, from Lagos. That should stop. The commissioners should mind their job, and that they will be, if they need them, he will call them to come and give account, or call them to applaud them or what they are doing. But the revised today is the case. Whatever the governor says doesn't really come to play. Today, when the governor is coming back from airport, go and see chain of vehicles that are lining up. Where are they from? I had to engage. How do you travel with such a chain of people? They will go and wait for me at the airport. I had to engage a council chairman. And I said, because that day he was about rushing to the airport to go and meet with the to go and wait for the governor who was coming from Abuja. I said, why do you want to leave your locality to go to the airport to wait? He says, because the governor is coming and he has been given a text message to be at the airport. And I said, why will you abandon your own job? He says that this is what he has to do. And I told him that I had to remind him that the governor had warned that he doesn't need anybody to come and wait for him at the airport. Mind your own job. Deliver your own good governance to your people. The chairman told me that after the governor made that statement at Low Meridian, that is the Icon Hotel, that at Icono, in an event, the governor said those who are going around with him is taking note of them. That by the time those who refuse to go around with him have event, invite him, he will send a village head to go and represent him at the event.
Is it not possible that he's been misunderstood?
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm telling you that when the government make a statement, it becomes a policy statement.
But Otuekon, there are some commissioners that we've tried to get across to, myself and Owana, to be on the program, because we need to talk about their ministries. And they've said that, well, today, I'm the one going with Oga.
That's the point.
So it's like, maybe perhaps there's like a timetable, not like Owana and Naomi has to be with the GM. But today, is it like, maybe perhaps there's like a timetable and not what you are saying?
Well, the truth still remains that those commissioners are trying to evade coming to sit down here without nothing to say. They have nothing actually to offer. Because what would they be telling you in 6 months they have done? I've just given you an instance. I am on the field. I'm on ground. And I've told you that I think the governor recently said that those commissioners who said that there is no fund should resign. And this is 6 months. I'm saying what the governor speaks and it becomes a news. That's the truth about it. And I'm so surprised that we are still discussing agenda blueprint that is still on the drawing board. 6 months. Go and see what Governor Fubara is doing in River State. Governor of Lagos State and the rest, what they are doing. And here we are still on the drawing board. And I'm telling you that driving down here from the airport road axis, after several discussions with the company handling the project, they just went back and begin to start from one part, begin to grade the road, begin to pour asphalt after several interventions with them. And what is the cost? There is no fund anywhere.
But Otuekon, instead of holding the governor accountable for some of these issues, are we not supposed to be holding the commissioners? After all, he's appointed them so that they can oversee. Because as a governor, you can't be everywhere at every time.
You see, Owana, I must commend the governor for being pragmatic. The governor went to the Atiku Abubakar Avenue when there was flood, and immediately job commenced. And go back there today and see they are still struggling. I struggle with cars that are coming with one way. They almost hit my car. They are still struggling at that axis. They are still there. The road has been barricaded for more than 3 months down the line. What are we saying now? When we talk about cut cost of governance, the governor recently appointed over 400 aides. And more are still coming. Truth is, how do you cut cost of governance? Yeah, you just mentioned in your intro that the governor has appointed 50 media aides. To do what? To do what? Is it as attack dogs of government? Is it as to do what? In those days of urban attacks, you have just one media aide, and that solves the whole job. The president has only one media aide. Aju, who speaks for the government. So why do you have to appoint 50 media aides to do what? And you're appointing persons from a ward level. You're appointing persons per ward to do what, for God's sake? Create employment, create job at the village level, local government level, at the state level, and that will solve the issue of unemployment and lack of food to eat. Don't begin to appoint. Once you appoint over 5 million people into the government, the answer is no. I will not be a government appointee. Likewise, you. But when the government is able to provide, suitable environment for you to operate, you can make your money through your own private businesses. So the truth remains that the government of Pastor Umo Eno is yet to hit the ground running. It's still on the drawing board 6 months down the line. And this is sad because I had thought that we have been hearing about another agenda before even the government even came on board. He had that team, he had his plans, he had his dreams. But now, shockingly, it seems the government is not, the government wasn't surprised. The government wasn't ready, rather, to mount the saddle of leadership. Otherwise, by now, we should be talking about development here, job here and job there, and then the state will now be turned to industrial hub, will be turned to construction sites. But what you see today is nothing than the governor attending social events, public events, and it ends there. The other day, I had to take my team. We walked down to the Christmas village, to the Unity Park that will be used as Christmas village. Fantastic idea. They are putting up a very good, structure. We interface with Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Charles Udo, who gave us a very clear plan as to what will be done. But you could see that the government is trying to build permanent structure that will be used for the Carol night event within the Unity Park. And this for us has distorted the master plan of the Obamota's government. Obamota came with a master plan. That place ought to be a green area to protect the climate. Now you are coming to destroy the trees to build a place that you want to use for Carol Festival. And then we ask question, what happens to the worship center that the government built?
Well, we'll get to that and have more insights on that discussion, especially as you talked about the green. It's come to a realization that the administrations these days, they don't plant trees like,
and protect the climate
exactly
and our environment.
All right, we're still playing host to the director, Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network. I'll take on Franklin Isong is in the studio. We'll take a quick commercial break. To stay with us, Talking Point returns in a moment.